Hi, everybody. Welcome to your Wednesday market coaching webinar. It's also day 2 of our sort of Thanksgiving Mastermind online that I'm sharing with everybody because it's the season of giving. Yesterday, we did platforms to put your message out as a realtor or really any business if you're watching this. Why would anybody do that to my little private street? Today we are going to talk about content and why content matters right now over the next, 4 to 6 weeks more than any other period of time. We've talked about it repeatedly throughout the years that that information tends to get stopped this time of year. And it's important to put out a message that people will be interested in. I mean, it's just really that simple. I'm joined on the call by Fred Solomon. He is a broker. How are you, Fred?
Good morning, Lee. I'm doing good. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. And just before we get started, I just want to say to everybody to be thankful for this group and the referrals that I get from it and the information that Lee bangs his head against the wall, combobulating. And is that a good word?
Yeah, it's a good word. I'll let that one. I'll let that one go.
So all the stuff that Lee puts together for all of us. A lot of these types of coaching groups, charge a monthly fee. Lee includes that if you join his Monster Marketing program, and we have a lot of smart people in this group, and we even helped one of my clients this year that's in foreclosure on a $3.7 million home in Beverly Hills. So, we actually are out there helping people. We give them good advice. That's the first time that we've actually had a live call where someone was needing our help. We had 30 or 40 people on the call that day, and we were all helping this guy because of the situation that he was in. So, this is a group that helps people and we help each other. And we're going to do some things with realtors today on how to show them what good content to put out there, but more importantly, how we can all help each other with positive online reviews that will organically index us to a good spot on Google by continuing to do organic recommendations to get us higher up on Google as an organic search. And that's just one of the things that we're going to talk about. But if we didn't have this group, we wouldn't be able to mastermind and come together as a group. So for that, I'm thankful for all that, because we can all learn from each other, and there's some really smart people in the group. So thank you for everybody, and I sincerely mean all that. And even though it is frustrating sometimes dealing with these homeowners in default and the decisions and choices that they make, if your clients in your database of clients trust you and they have a family member that is in that situation, they will come to you and they will seek advice because they trust you. And that is what we earn by doing a good job for people. So continue being the advocates that we are, continue helping people. And even though real estate's a little tough and slow right now, it's going to get better. Thank God the interest rates have come down 1 full percentage point in the last 30 days. And that was because of the CPI report. And so when the rates come down, even though Lee thinks they may hit 8% by the end of the year, and he's not crazy for thinking that way, but I think the government is doing their job to keep these rates low. They're going to force gasoline prices down.
Yep.
And if they force gasoline prices down, that will help with inflation.
It'll certainly distract.
Right.
It'll distract through the holiday. What I think is happening is they're distracting. And I put it in the think category because I don't know really what goes on in their mind. I want to make it clear if it's your first time on the call, because I am inviting members from my older list and we're out on Facebook. There are things I think and there are things I know. What I base my knowledge on is, 30 plus years of working in banking, a decade now of working here with real estate professionals, investors, et cetera. And my tracking of the market, which has been pretty good for this particular market trend, which if you want to know where it started, in my mind, it started the summer of the pandemic when they introduced the forbearance agreement, at which point I was asked a question of what do I think will happen? I didn't really care much because I lived on a beach and my beach was closed to the public, and I had never seen dolphins come that far in on the California coast. Like, it was crazy, the difference once you get rid of people on the coast. And during that period, I was asked the question, what do I think is going to happen? And I said, I think if you allow people not to pay, you're going to have an issue. And ultimately, those will lead to defaults. And I primarily have worked 99% of the time. I'll be fair, 95% of the time. I have built houses. I have worked in home construction. I've worked in some other fields. But 95% of the time has been in the default zone where people miss payments. 31 days at 5 p.m., you're 30 days late. 61, you're 60 days late. 91 days at 5 p.m., you're 90 days late. Then you roll the 90, that turns into a default. The default then turns into what they call, severely delinquent, which is, I think, the more politically correct term they came up with. And during that summer, someone said, well, what's going to happen with, at the time, it was something like 5 million forbearance agreements. I said, you're defaulting on 5 million people. Let me make this abundantly clear. All of the clever tricks that they have used up till now, which no longer apply, period. If you haven't paid back during that particular window, which ended a long time ago, your forbearance agreements, you're in default. For those that got deferrals, and we've showed records of that, those people are in default. Okay. And we've shown records of that being in the tens of thousands of people per month. We've documented that here on these. And I think, and I put it in the think category, every year, the national news wire changes dramatically because people are going to be home for the holidays. People are going to spend money, and it rolls into Christmas. It's the biggest shopping period on the planet. I think the first big thing to note here is how early they wanted people to start taking advantage of Black Friday sales. And that was on November 1st. They started dramatically on the 1st, but last week they ramped it up even more. And it's been going on for most of the month. I'm sure you've all been inundated with advertising about pre-Black Friday, yada, yada, yada. They want you to spend money because you never know exactly what's going to happen. And I believe, Fred, we have another Fed rate hike before the end of the year, correct?
Yeah, we do. The next Fed meeting, let me look that up.
December 6th, I want to say.
I think it is December 5th or 6th, but I'm going to check it out. I can figure it out in a Fed meeting 2022.
I think it's the 6th of December, if my memory serves me, and the amount of coffee I've pumped into my system. And the reason I bring all of this up, it will be the most downplayed thing that happens this year.
December 13th and 14th is the next meeting. But
I guarantee it'll almost be a media blackout. Yes, they're going to raise the Fed rate. They're going to raise it by 0.75 of a point. Again, I think that's a given. That's their plan. They're going to keep doing it. Will it affect the interest rates through the holiday? Sales are slowing down. I think they're happy where the rate's at, hovering around 7s. And I don't think they were expecting such a harsh winter on the East Coast. I mean, blizzards. That affects real estate transactions. It's happening everywhere. You've got a rail strike that could seriously impact chain supply dramatically. I also think that's the reason for the push on transactions and sales. Before that's supposed to happen within the first, like that all comes due in the first week or two of December, where they could go on strike. Now, if they're smart, they'll push it to after the holidays. But again, this market has become, let's just keep pushing it back and make it the next political party's issue to fix the situation. And that's what I think. I can't honestly tell you what I know about politics. They seem to be more concerned with business kind of as usual. The problem is we do have inflation, hyperinflation, really. We are in a recession, whether or not they want to admit it. Jobless claims went up another 17,000. Had to look hard for that, Fred. Had to look hard for that one. But it went up. There were another 17,000 submitted to add to the pile. That number is seriously augmented. Last check, there were about 130,000 people that have already been laid off year to date. And that's another big factor. Those people are currently getting paid. Hopefully they all get new jobs. The economy itself is kind of a house of cards now, that it won't take much wind blowing one way or the other for it all to collapse. And the greatest fear, obviously, watching crypto starting to take a bath, is the collapse of the dollar. And that's a big deal. And that's what they're trying to avoid without having to completely revamp the system. This leads to people believing in conspiracy theories of monetized units and one world orders, and all. People really want to believe all that. And I understand why. Again, I just think it's always business as usual. And that's the problem. We have literally been putting off these issues. Then we had a pandemic. Then we allowed people not to pay. We allowed people to work from home. We allowed people to move because now they could live anywhere cheaper and more affordably. That gained equity. This is a very weird little structure that I was really blown away. I'll talk about it quickly. The NAR report came out about a week ago, I believe the 11th. And Lawrence Yun, in his Let's Be Positive speech, actually believes that homes are going to continue to appreciate next year. I'm not even making that up.
No, what the Fed wants is what the Fed gets. Yeah. And the Fed wants a housing recession. They know what to say. And Brendan is absolutely right. The Fed is telling everybody not to spend money. Amazon is laying off jobs. That is a huge, huge sign. When you see Amazon and Walmart laying people off, guess what? That's a problem, because retail sucks right now.
Yep.
Retail is really bad. Retail and real estate, the two R's, are not good right now. Now, Orange County, I just had a buddy, and I put up some good content yesterday. I thought it was going to get some traction. It didn't get as much as I thought it would. But one person said, well, I just put 3 deals into escrow yesterday. And then I looked on his, Facebook page, and I said, oh, well, no, of course, you're from Orange County. That's
right
where the deals are happening, and I look at other people's responses and I look at what they write, and then I go and I click on the area that they live in, and I got, oh, of course, well, you're in LA. Market's much different in LA than it is in Orange County. So, and San Diego and San Jose and these areas that are usually really good are not as good right now. And it's okay. It's okay. They're getting what they want. But when we go into the recession and when the economy starts losing jobs, which hasn't happened yet, and this is the hiring season, and hiring season is, Black Friday, one of the busiest shopping days. And what's Amazon doing? Laying off 10,000 employees.
Yep.
That's a telltale sign of what they are seeing and predicting. So, when automakers are cutting prices of their automobiles, Tesla is doing that. And when these people are doing those things, it's a telltale sign. So right now, it's 100% predicted that we will be in a recession by the end of 2023. The definition of recession is 2 negative quarters of GDP. The last recession where we had 2 negative quarters of GDP, they called it a housing recession because the second quarter of 2022 was negative on the GDP, but it wasn't as negative as the first quarter. So they were saying that it was a improving economy, even though we were still negative on the GDP. And they were changing the definition of the word recession. So right now, they're saying by the end of 2023, we are going to have 2 negative quarters of GDP. And they're saying that the unemployment rate is going to be in the 5% range, 5.4%. We're at 3.7% right now on unemployment. So that's why they're saying, stop spending your money, save your money right now, blah, 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 because we're headed into a recession. And if you don't have a job that is recession proof, like teachers, policemen, firemen, if you don't have one of those recession proof jobs, be careful with your money. That's all it means.
Get cash on hand. I think even the message I've been recording on the Red Calls is call one of our agents, right? Call one of the advocates, even to do a cash out equity or to do a refinance right now, even though I know what the rates are. I think cash on hand is really important, especially when you're in a market like Las Vegas that's showing a dive, right? We've documented it. And again, go watch the Zillow video and you can check out your own individual markets. People are losing equity. And that's the one thing that kind of the current administration has propped everything up on as being good. And I've said it, it's not what I think, it's what I know. It's obvious looking at it. This entire economy in the United States right now, our physical, literal economy is based on real estate. And once real estate starts to go, which it's starting to go, it's going to affect everything else. And we've been playing with this weird, putting off supply chain issues, blame it on Russia. Who cares? Okay. People, rail cars going down when people can't afford gas to truck, right? Or you're making them add an additive and they can't afford that. And the cost of living isn't increasing to match inflation. This is all completely out of hand. And I'm actually very surprised. We're going to talk about it right now. The Loan Insight performance report from CoreLogic. Everybody respects CoreLogic, and it's going to be rather dramatic. I'm more interested in whether or not what I call the mainstream media, and again, that isn't the political version of that. I've said it a million times. These are literally just people who read scripts with created content. No different than any of you. You want a following, start creating content on and cite your content, right? Today, I'm going to be using CoreLogic. I'm going to show you how it's used. I'm going to show you how you put it into play. I'm going to show you what kind of traffic when we come back from the break that this content does. And by doing that, my goal is to propel, say, Las Vegas Realtor, or in Marvin's case, San Diego Realtor, right? That's the goal. And we've run tests and I've showed it and it works, and you can use it for anything. I don't care if you got a pizza business. I've shown it. Ooh, ED, bad grammar. I've shown it with doing it with content that I create on boxing and how dramatic the difference is on a targeted audience. And here's the reason why I'm pushing this before the holidays. This is the highest peak traffic on the internet, period. Period. Period, 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 period. These next 6 weeks, more people are online, more people are at home, more people will be on the internet, more people will be on Facebook and Instagram, more people will be in these platforms. So why not create content? Why not be your own version of media and create content based on your projection? I'm not talking political. We've had that talk during the elections. I'm not talking about what I've been seeing out of real estate agents, Fred. Oh my God, here's a turkey recipe, thinking of you. I know how to cook a turkey. Got to be perfectly honest. You got anything else for me? What are the interest rates? What's going on? Credit to Antonio, who sent out one today talking about the current interest rates and why the people on his email list should take action, right? That makes more sense to me than somebody sending me a happy Thanksgiving e-card. I got to be perfectly honest. And you'll see it on Facebook. It'll be consistent about people doing that, especially in real estate, investors and real estate agents alike. Not to mention the other overwhelming arc that happens over the next 6 weeks, which is most people in real estate cut down the number of transactions and the amount of marketing that they do. So we're going to take advantage of this. That's why we started yesterday. Gave you, I saw that Tina Herman got Orlando Realtor set up for herself. We gave you a complete platform to start doing SEO, because the search people are going to do is your city and the word realtor if they need assistance or they need money or they need guidance. Okay. Why did I create Home Advocates? That's more for when I meet someone. Okay. That nobody is searching for a home advocate. When I meet people, and that's why it's on the screen. The dramatic effect of meeting someone for the first time and what do you do? Whatever your spiel is, I work for a company called Home Advocates. We're an advocacy company that helps people, who've missed payments. We fix broken real estate, whatever terminology or script that we've taught over the years. And then the second goal was to make sure that everybody got on page one, right? So that you could literally look someone in the eye and go open up your phone, type in the word Home Advocates. And I would, if it's your first time on the call or you're watching this as a replay, you can open up your phone, you can open up any browser, you can open up any search engine and type in the word Home Advocates. That formula that got it to page one above government organizations. Can I stress this, Fred? Above .govs in a relatively remarkable, and I say remarkable, short amount of time. Was important. And we got it done really quickly. It was very exciting. It allows for quicker connection and credibility. So what else can you do with this kind of formula? And we did it yesterday. I actually exposed my actual formula for doing that. So again, if you want, go ahead and type in Home Advocates. So we have to take a lot of things into play here. Okay. We can accept what the economy is, or we can lie to ourselves about the economy. And there are a lot of people in real estate who seem to think that whatever it is that I'm talking about, or what I'm talking about with social media or websites or anything else, is not needed, and they can just network and work off of their referral list. Great, good for you. But based on transactions being down, I would say it's tighter than ever finding your next deal, even off of a referral list. I think people are going to hunker down. Now, if you're taking a referral list and saying now's the right time to refinance, now's the right time to take advantage of your equity, I think that's a good message. What I'm talking about is putting out content that attracts a crowd that is in trouble. And I will cover that in just a second. As I stated earlier, I use YouTube, which is generally the best aggregate for collecting daily content on the news. And it's very generic. It can be anywhere from Fox to MSNBC, et cetera. It's just a robot that pulls in data. There isn't a human being who puts these stories up. They wouldn't have time for it. There's no conspiracy here. YouTube doesn't really care as long as you're not breaking a couple of their rules, what content you actually put up. What you're looking at is the national news feed, and this is what you're going to be talking about for the next 6 weeks. And I'm not saying on the local news. Local news is independent. They have the ability to create their own content. They will do some national stories, but generally speaking, they will keep it local and they write it in-house. That's important to note. Local news does have in-house writers for their script readers. And again, nobody on those news teams is really, writing the news. Currently, the top stories usually is probably the quick way, but I like to go through them. We had another gun down. So expect to watch these happen a little more frequently, even though crime historically is down to record lows. We are in an age where these things are easily televised. These are things that are easily put up for shock value. I hate to say it, but it's true. If it bleeds, it leads. We had the Virginia Walmart shooting, the Colorado shooting, just lots of Trump stuff. The GOP has just jumped off the Trump bandwagon. And so everybody's at his feet. So that'll continue through the holidays, especially with his tax returns. Fauci retiring. So I expect a couple of weeks of people either hating on Fauci or loving Fauci. More DOJ on Trump. Moscow police holding Moscow, Idaho, right? So the Idaho shooting, the SUV. Look at what the stories are. There's nothing about the economy in here. Nothing about what's going on. These are all about somebody drove through the glass at an Apple store, which, by the way, that kind of accident happens a lot. So far more than anybody would care to mention. The pardoning of the turkey made national news wires. More Trump. How to have a safe Thanksgiving. GOP and McCarthy. Another kill. Look at how this drives me crazy, right? So crashes happen and they're really sad, right? But the fact is that that's not a helicopter crash. This is a national news story, which is mind blowing to me. Look at how many people picked this up. And that's about it. As you can see, everything's gone. Everything is really gone when it comes to national news wires. So when you watch the national news, if you don't know, there's local news, national news, and world news on ABC, CBS, and NBC. World news, you're certainly not going to hear about it. National news, you're not going to hear anything on it. Local news, you might get a couple of stories. And so now, using all these social media platforms, including YouTube, you can put your own content or your own media into play and get people to get your information. And that's what this has all been about the last couple of days. Making yourself, if you want to read a book on the topic, Purple Cow, Tribe Building, both by Seth Godin, a man I'd like to call mentor and friend, who wrote these two amazing books, which is basically built on the same principle as ABC News. You're just building a tribe around you who want to hear your version of a story. I don't care if it's 100. I don't care if it's 1,000. If you're lucky, you go viral and it's 1 million. And I hope you make lots of money from YouTube and get some of those crazy YouTube dollars. But that's how this works. There's no conspiracy to it. People consume in 3-minute bites. That's the way they do it. I spend an absurd amount of time on YouTube, especially with news, even with social content. Always check your trending topics. I mean, World Cup, these are trending videos. There's nothing here talking about Avatar and music and people under a certain age. These are people who take over the internet. There's nothing negative here. When in fact, I think we can all agree the economy is generally on fire at the moment. So let's talk about something that matters to all of you. And Fred, I'll get your feedback on this. Yesterday, Core Logic, I don't know why they did it yesterday, but they did it. Usually they do it a couple of weeks before. It's almost like they dropped a stink bomb in the room. CoreLogic loan performance insight for November 2021. So this is going to be our content that we're going to use on the platforms we built yesterday. I'm going to document it, and I'm going to show it to you guys all on Tuesday to see exactly how much traffic it actually creates. We're going to use Lori's Las Vegas Realtor website, which isn't even a website yet. Got it? There's no page on it. That's how new it is. I have not slapped a theme on it. I have not done any of the work, but it is an active website. In fact, nobody has traveled to this website. That's why I wanted to make sure this was up. How does it already have a comment? Are you joking? Is that a thing? So I wanted to start from a 000. So I just put Jetpack on it this morning so that we can look and see what this does based on daily posting. I would challenge all of you that built your platforms yesterday to track your results from today until Tuesday and see if you get more people. And here's the goal: looking at your social media links, giving them click results for those social media links, giving them your phone number, giving them your email. That is the goal. So one of the things I like to do is I have this. So this is the one I use for FightNet Radio. It's the basic template that I use for everybody. First thing you want to do is create what I call a signature card for all your posting. If you've never been on this is the one that I hammer you on, Fred. Always have a signature card for all your social media posting.
So
right?
I've been waiting like 15 minutes to say what I wanted to say.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Fred.
It's okay. I wanted you to finish your thought, and I didn't want to, but I wanted to have a little challenge right here.
Go for it.
Let's do, and this can all be done on Lori's, new Facebook thing, but what I'd like to do is design a content post, and then have you design a content post, and we will call it beat Lee Honish, right? Can your students beat you at your own marketing?
I'll put the challenge out there. Anybody on Facebook, the video's out there. If you're looking at it, just check my timeline. You'll see the video from yesterday that'll show you how to set it up. If you get the YouTube videos, watch part 1, shows you how to set up the platforms. That is my secret sauce. When people hire me, that's what I'm doing for them. It is my calling card. And this is how I do my content. So go ahead, Fred.
So then what I have some content that I'd like to start off with, but I want everybody to participate that's listening in our coaching group right now. And I want to put a piece of content out there, and all of us, have it be everybody's input. But I thought I wrote some really good content. I
want to cover it. The one thing before you get to it, because I know you probably put it up, signature card, Fred. You know how crazy this makes me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh. All right. So just real quickly. So if I was doing Fred's, I would make sure that Fred's got a hashtag, right? Always add news. People search for realtor. These are common on Facebook, Instagram, and even YouTube, right? And then I actually know this already. Broker. Didn't know that, everyone, did you? There's more than one Fred. So that's at Fred Solomon. And then you'd want your website, your YouTube, your Insta, your Facebook. Even on Facebook, Facebook will let you repost that actual link. I've actually got to change this one because I managed to finally get FightNet Radio again. Somebody had taken that page from me. What a shocker. And then in my case, that one has a Twitter account. You can or cannot do Twitter. That's completely up to you. The ones I really care about are Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and the SEO for your website of chasing after, let's say, realtor in Palm Springs in Fred's case. So go ahead, Fred, what's your content?
Okay, well, I wanted you to do your content, and then I want, I want you to do what you were planning on doing, and then I wanted to do another content and see which one gets
Oh
more
yeah, fair
traction.
enough, fair enough. And you've got a pretty solid following. So my end goal would be, where can I put people that will see Lori's name, Lori's phone number, right, and email address.
Right.
I'm trying to get away from, and I realize Home Advocates has a capture page on the front, and it does a fine job. And those are real people that have to fill out a form and a CAPTCHA and the whole bit for them to join the website. I also know that real estate people get sold leads that are just plain garbage completely, right? Oh, so sorry, somebody wants me to do all of this for them. Lori just texted me over my phone. So I'm trying to avoid robots. AI robots are so advanced right now. I would be leery of buying any leads, and don't get caught up in, oh, we're going to send you thousands of leads. I'll say it again. We've all done Leads Like Candy or one of those type websites where people don't even realize that they've clicked or got put into these funnels, right? And so let's take a breath. I'm doing this the hard way. I want them to physically make a phone call or send a physical email. Now, you're likely to get a lot of spam email. Robots are actually that good right now. But phone number, email, pretty much what I'm chasing. So the question is, where is my best chance? Now, in Fred's case, I'm going to give Fred some help. If he's got his taglines down at the bottom and people read through all of his content, and he's got this big tag with all these different links so they can find out more about Fred, the likelihood, if they've read to the bottom of his post, right, he's liable to get somebody to click on one of those links and to go somewhere else, to his website, or to see his phone number, or to write that phone number down. That's the game. That's the game for right now for the next 6 weeks. It's branding in your market. And at the same time, getting search engine optimization for the ultimate search, which is what we all want. Same thing that works for Home Advocates, right? The keyword search I was after was always Home Advocates, period. I wanted to be line one, period. That's all I wanted in life. And I was prepared to beat out government agencies. This still blows my mind that I beat YouTube and other locations. I even beat Facebook on the search. That's how dramatic the difference is. I suspect, based on certainly I've been approached by people on actual terrestrial TV or cable TV or whatever you want to call it about our company already, that this is going to become something people can pay to advertise to be above. It's that good that's going to happen. And I'm not going to be upset about it. It's my job to maintain my first position, period. I don't have to pay for the words Home and Advocates to be line one anywhere. And that's Yahoo to AOL to whatever browser you're using, even down to, we did it with DuckDuckGo, which is supposed to be a non-follow search system. Home Advocates is always line one. And that means everybody who's a part of Home Advocates is on page one of Google, period. And I think it's one of the most powerful things that we offer to all of you. All right, that aside, let's go after bigger things. Here in Las Vegas, I want to go after Las Vegas Realtor, right? That's what I'm going after. Look at the number of people who advertise. All you have to do is look for the word ad, really simple. And there are even people who have LasVegasRealtor.com. My goal is to beat this person, period. He's got line one with Las Vegas Realtor. And I guarantee that this does transaction. And it's certainly a conversation point as well, right? Oh, my website, Las Vegas Realtor. Yeah, go ahead, Fred.
You know who it does business with? It's out of town people that are looking to move to that area that don't have a realtor contact. And that is what they do, is they go to Google or they start searching for listings, and then they call the listing agent, and then the listing agent ends up showing them properties. So what's powerful is listings and and Google. And those are the two things that are going to help you get those out of town buyers. And Vegas has a lot of that. So you really in certain areas where people are moving from out of town, and where I live is one of them also, Palm Springs area. A lot of people come from San Diego, Orange County, and LA, and they sell their properties for $1.5 million, pay cash out here and put money in the bank. That's what they do. So any area, Florida probably is another area that does that, where you have out of town guests that don't have local real estate contacts. And for that reason, they are going to possibly do an online search. They are going to look at properties and they're going to call the listing agent, or they're going to call their realtor and say, do you know anybody in that area? And, if you work at one of the big boys, then they can go in their office system and then do, a search for realtors in that area and say, yeah, I know someone, and here's all their reviews or whatever. So, but you're always going to catch people online, and it
Always.
may not be as much as one would think, because people go with recommendations and referrals first. Generally speaking, that's what they do. But for that first-time home buyer that's moving into an area, they will Google it, and that's who you may catch. Are those
that's what you're netting for, right? And so it's based on volume. And the reason I turned the screen share off, and I'll dive right back into it, I want to make this abundantly clear. I don't think this is the only way. Although I did get an email yesterday that gave me 7 brand new door knocking scripts. And if you got that email, I hope it made you smile. It actually says in it, prepare your script before you knock on the door. That was one of the steps. If you want to do that during the holiday, people are certainly home, and that's certainly a way to do it. There are 3 ways to get clients engaged with you. We've said it a million times. Referral is number 1, using email. Fred, go ahead and insert your email, your past clients pitch that we have talked about so many countless times. I think it bears worth saying again.
Yeah, I mean, you always want a reason to send out an email. And right now, the number 1 question that I get when I talk to buyers is this a good time to buy? And so what my Facebook posts are and my social media is all about is basically answering that question before they ask it. And I just put up a really, really good one, and I want to get to it.
We will. I most assuredly want to. I'm very excited to cover it.
You got to send out an email, and you got to have a reason to contact them. A good time to contact them is, hey, how's it going? Happy birthday. Just a quick little line or 2, even a text message to your client if you have their birthdays in your database. But most importantly for me on Facebook is that if I see friends of mine that have birthdays that I've done business with or have inquired with me, I always say, hey, happy birthday. Hope you have a good one. Enjoy. And I just do that every day. Every day, that's a common thing that I just wake up and do, because it's nice to see that people are saying happy birthday to you, and especially with people that, you may like or that you may have relationships.
It's engaging content.
Yeah.
And people get caught up. Well, engaging content should be something in the news. No, it isn't. Remind someone that you remembered their birthday. There's nothing more powerful than that. There's nothing. Look, as much as I crap on people who send out happy St. Patrick's Day cards, I know the people who are doing it, right? So I expect them now during those periods. If I was a regular homeowner, would that make me consider them is the question. I don't think it's showing expertise. And as I've documented many times on these videos, most people don't have clear links. They have no clear way to contact them. They go into weird funnels. They'll take them back to a corporate website. They'll take them to an IDX, which again, you're allowing the ability of, you can't let them stray from whatever bunny hole you create. I'm sure that that's a term we use for people who watch a lot of YouTube. You go down rabbit holes. right? So once I start watching, let's say in my particular case, jumping into a van and driving across America and, living next to a lake for a month, which by the way, sounds very appealing to me based on the current economy. Once I start down that bunny hole, I'm going to get fed more of that content. So once you start feeding people content like that on Facebook or YouTube or any of those platforms, guess what? They're going to get more of it. Your job is to keep them on you, sites on you, and email and referrals the most important way. I can't even stress it. Almost all email platforms give you the ability to have a sign-up page. And if you want my opinion, adding would you like to receive, let me go back to screen sharing. Oh, and let me cover this and we'll go back to it. I do believe in direct marketing. I do believe in my direct marketing because it is a permission-based direct marketing that I've used for a decade, that people have used, that guarantees face-to-face. If it's door knocking or going in and meeting people, whatever it is, I think you need to have boots on the ground direct marketing at some point on some level and be prepared to talk about your business. And the third, which is what we're covering because it's such an incredible amount of traffic right now, is let's go find people who want to know about the news and start feeding them that news. And that's what this is all about. That's what this whole thing is about when creating content like this. That's my whole little pitch on that before I go back to my screen share. There it is. Multitasking while doing this, Fred, is really the hard part. All right. So we're back on my Word document. If you have an email account, would you like to receive, right, email, weekly emails? Constant Contact allows it, and they'll give you, a XYZ link.com link. They'll give you a link and it'll take them to a sign up page and it'll put it in a folder. I will know that those people came in online looking for a weekly email, or if you do monthly, like Fred, this is an opportunity for people. Put it on your signature card. If they're going to read your content, watch your video, look at your meme, whatever it is, give them an opportunity to get more of that content, right? If you're going to shoot a video, I've done this a million times and I've said it, especially when I shoot red videos, click the like button, click the subscribe button, click the follow button. This should be part of, if you're shooting video, part of your vernacular. Hey, if you like what you're seeing, click the follow button or click the reminder bell when I create new content or I go live or whatever it is. Click like subscribe is sort of the common vernacular. Click like subscribe. And I've actually tested this on a couple of sites, especially with the boxing stuff I promote. When you put content out there and you ask them to click and share, like define it in the actual message when I put the content out there, guess what? They click and they share it. They do. People who like your content or find it germane, they will do that. And that's what you're looking for. The more people who click it, the bigger the stream, the bigger the impact, the number of people increases. That's it. Let's get back to what would work for real estate right now. There is very little real estate news, and I can't stress this enough. I will give you guys the link. I'm going to send this out to everyone so you have it in the chat bar. Here's the link to the CoreLogic Insight Report. So it's in there. This thing's amazing, Fred. This is Christmas early for me. I admit it. I work on defaults. I have watched deferrals. I have watched forbearance agreements delay the crashing of this real estate market. And lo and behold, in my email box from CoreLogic, which was written on November 9th, which is mind-blowing to me. By the way, I just got it in my email yesterday. So, hey, good delay on it. Boy, you waited as long as you could on it before they sent it out to their email list. 30-day delinquencies in the nation are at a record high at 6.6%. That's a pretty tremendous number. But let's see if this carries through, because they talk about it. We're at an all-time low on foreclosures. Right. They are. But if you look at the delinquency rates, they're all going up. These are literally the highest numbers they've ever been. And as you go down and look at loan performance, they actually give you an amazing chart of where we are right now. Actual properties in foreclosure are 0.2% a year ago. They're at 0.3% right now. Why are they so low? They've allowed forbearance agreements. They've allowed deferrals. We've documented that. We've showed it. We've shown those numbers. What is dramatic here is look at the 120 past due. A year ago, it was at 2.2, which, by the way, the number of 2.2 dropping to 2.2% over the course of the year shows you how many millions of people they've given deferrals to, and how many forbearance agreements, and how many people maybe took action and sold their property. They're never going to dictate that per se. But this is incredible. Like 2.2% to go to 0.2%. Like if you looked at historical year over year figures and looked at this on a much grander scale, it would never look like this. By the way, if you guys don't remember 2007, once again, over the holidays, please watch The Big Short. 2% was considered catastrophic in real estate. Well, the banks are aware of that. So they offered deferrals. They offered forbearance agreements. They're giving, temporary loan modifications. The problem is the numbers going up year over year. But what you really have to look at is what the carryover looks like coming down the pipe. 6.6% are 30 days delinquent or more, Fred. That is, it's rapidly approaching double digits at this point. I mean, it's such a dramatic number that I don't even know where to begin. 4%, yeah, it's about right. I mean, considering it's usually around 3%, and usually foreclosures always hover right around 1% historically. It's just my experience as an executive and an asset manager. So you have to look at the trends. So if I were sitting in a meeting and somebody walked in and went, well, Lee, what do you think? I'd be really scared about these two very big numbers, and how many more deferrals are we handing out, and how many forbearance agreements? I mean, how far are we pushing this out? Like, what do you think is going to happen? Because values are declining, right? So we're losing that equity. We can't keep putting this off, hoping people will take action and sell their house or take their equity and do that. They're not taking that action because buyers aren't taking that action because we've raised the interest rate. And cash investors have cut down dramatically in the market as well. These are all factors that are in play. Anything you'd like to add here? Because this is an amazing graph. An amazing graph.
Yeah. I just clicked on the article that Don provided. And obviously this is from August of 2020 to August of 2021.
Right.
August of 2022, you can see the numbers have been decreasing. And the reason is because people are getting jobs.
Right. And it's and I cannot stress this. I cannot put enough weight on this deferral thing. I cannot, literally, when you're handing out 15,000 deferrals a month, what are you going to call them? They don't fall into a category. Certainly it's a defaulted person. Where do they fall in this chart? Because I know this historically, and I've said it before. People who've missed 120 plus days, really it's at 91 days, really. But let's just go with the 6-month figure. 8 out of 10 people are going to transfer property. Are you trying to tell me that that's their solution to why there's nobody in foreclosure? Like, that's lower than pre-pandemic. That doesn't make sense. Those final two numbers, even on I'm looking at last month's report, it doesn't make sense. the numbers aren't lining up. Where are they? Where are these millions of people going? Because we certainly don't have that many transactions that are pre-foreclosure. They document that. They document that, but NAR documents that info. So we didn't see an incredible spike on that. Where'd they go?
Well, you know, they did exactly what we have been seeing in the mortgage industry, and that is they went into these accounts at bearing 0% interest, and the only time they had to pay that money back was when they refinanced or sold their properties. But the default and the default balance went into a non-interest bearing account. So they didn't even have to pay the money back. It was just basically in this account, like kind of like an impound account, but there was no interest on it. And you didn't have to pay the money back until you sold or refinanced.
I agree. I agree with that. My question is it a defaulted property?
Yes, it is. Of course it is, but
we're not documenting it.
The lenders basically, you know, and that's why we talked about this data a few weeks back. And what we were saying was we need to find people who have lost their jobs, because as advocates, we know that if they lost their job, that they can't make the payment. We know that, right?
Yep.
Well, the unemployment
and it's increasing, right? Now we can document month over month. It's increasing. Let's just go with an easy number at 2%. That means it's going to be at 10% by January or February at the current rate. That's what these two charts are showing me. And that's the way I would document it.
I'm here to give a voice of reason.
Well, I'm a default guy, so yeah.
Yeah. And I want to be respectful to the data that I'm looking at. And,
okay.
You know, we want to see how
to use it, really. Ultimately, is how do we use this? What is the overall message that can be used here? Because I really don't think that this is going to make mainstream media, not until the January, February report comes out. But it came out on the 9th and I saw nothing before I got this email, Fred. And I stare at a ton of economy news. Nobody should look at the level of economy news that I look at. It makes me borderline insane.
Well, the way that I see this is in a more positive light than maybe, and that's the thing, you can take something out of context in an interview, and one person can put a spin on it and think a certain way, and they
Absolutely.
and another person may see it totally different. And in this one particular instance, that's the way I'm seeing it, is in a more positive response, because to me, it's pretty simple. The reason why delinquencies are down 1.2% in this article on 30-day, and on 120 days, they're also down 1.2% from August of 2021 to August of 2022. So I'm seeing a 1.2% decline. And I know why. The reason for that decline is because we've been averaging 300,000 jobs created per month for the last 12 to 18 months. So, that means we've had added another 4 million jobs in the US economy, or more. But we are back to pre-pandemic levels on the job market. And if people have jobs, they can pay the mortgage. If they don't have jobs, they got to go sleep on mom and dad's couch. So until the economy starts losing jobs, then the recession is going to be more of an issue. We haven't seen that yet. We haven't. What we've seen is that our disposable income is way down because the prices of goods and services across the board are ridiculous.
Yeah.
On everything. I mean,
by about 20% is about the average that I've heard. Everything is about 20% more expensive.
And so turkeys were $70 at the market yesterday. That's what I saw a sign for.
Yep.
So here we go. I want to help people with the data, right? So how can we use this data?
Okay. So let's go with the simplistic approach.
Right.
Go with the 3.2 figure or the 6.6 figure. That's millions and millions and millions. This 3.2 120 plus, you're looking at roughly, my guess would be about 3 million people, plus or minus.
That's 2020. The purple is 2021.
Right.
And then we have 2022 with the article that Don gave us.
Right. Okay. So we're targeting this 2.2 or 4.0, right? Okay.
Right.
Let's talk about these numbers. So the first thing I want to do is I want to capture these charts. I want to capture this chart, right? This is something I can use and I can post, right? So right click it and save the image. It's going to save as an SVG document. Save it. Then what you want to do is you want to go to convert.co, and I'll give you guys all that link, but it's called Convertio. I use it for everything. I've used it on other things. So I want to convert these to JPEGs, right? And it is really literally that simple. If you can't remember what I'm telling you, you can just type in SVG to JPEG conversion. And I'm going to choose that file that I just uploaded, which is now in my downloads folder, not my cloud. And then I'm going to convert it to a JPEG. Okay, now I actually have an image, right? So this now works for Instagram. This works for Facebook. This is something you can easily do a voiceover for a YouTube video. And again, whatever your perspective is, my goal is, have you missed a payment? The message is, have you missed a payment? Do you fall on this chart? Is that simplistic enough, Fred?
Yeah.
Right. So I'm going to download it. And now I've got a genuine JPEG image of that chart. Just like this. That's a JPEG. I can do anything I want with it. So the question is, where will I get the highest traffic when someone needs help? My opinion, to get the SEO correct, start with a post. Okay. If it were me, and this is the first post going, just take your loan performance insight, right? Copy it and call it that. Don't kill yourself on here, right? There you go. And then I'm going to add content. I hate this version. Gosh, I hate this version. I like the old version. I should have added that plugin. Then I would create the post, right? I'm going to add a image. And I'm going to upload my image. By the way, I'm using this new version for the first time. So if it looks like I'm fumbling, yeah, I normally add a plugin so that I have the original version of WordPress to deal with. So now I've got my image. I'm going to add now a paragraph, right? And I'm going to take the same article and I'm going to just copy it. Why wouldn't I? I'm giving them exactly what the news is. You can copy and do this for all the charts and add those images you want, but I'm going to keep it to as simple as I can make it, right? I would include the methodology, but right there. I don't copy their backlinks. I don't do any of that. I just want your content and I'm going to copy it. Simple as that. So here's where I'm going to track. There it is. All my info is up there. Okay. It's all there now. In fact, it even copied some of those graphs for me to make it easy. How simple is that? It's all in there. So now it's all done. I now have a post. My opinion at the top of the post, right? If you have questions about missed payments, call Neville at, right? I'm going to give my social media a plug. I'm going to do Las Vegas Realtor IO at Gmail. And I'm going to include the number. And yes, I'm going slowly. I don't know her phone number off the top of my head. It might sound terrible. I don't even know my number off the top of my head. I do, but. So there you go. That's my message. Now, do I want to make it stand out a little bit more? I'm going to copy it because I'm going to use it again. I'm going to make it bold. Simple as that. I would recommend doing it somewhere in the middle of the page. It's your content. So you guys have all seen it. Everybody does the same thing, right? Make it bold, pop it up. Simple as that. And by the way, this is a website that's not a completed website. And I guarantee that what I'm showing you will get more traffic looking at her information and giving me SEO. Because I'm going to use priority domains. There you go. And you can change the size of this. I also use SEO by Yoast. So for those of you that are that nerdy, this is all designed to put key phrases in and do site maps. I use it on all my websites. Now I'm going to publish it. Okay. This is my landing spot. So my message, very simply, if I create a post of any kind, is, have you missed a payment? Do you know what the current numbers are? That's simple enough message. Would you agree, Fred?
Yeah.
Okay. So here it is as a post on the website, right? I'm going to copy the post address. So let's jump over to placing this information. Now, remember, there are three types of content to add. There is visual, right? Like a image. There is what Fred is going to use, which is written. And then there's also video content. You can do podcasts too, but even all my podcasts now are converted into video because that's a higher consumption rate than even my podcast right now. Right now, YouTube is on fire. It's the place people are going and spending the bulk of their time. In fact, it's the only paid website that I actually technically have. I actually pay to have premium YouTube so I don't have ads pop up. So I'm going to want to create video content. How do I not have it in here? Where is she? I've already created her page. This is what happens when you clear out your cache, Fred. And all your passwords are removed.
That's not good.
Well, and I'm hoping I'm getting the passwords right. Why is it not working? Let me try to go in through my Gmail account. and try to log in here. Ugh. There it is. Next. Password should be here. And it's not. I almost have to look up an email I sent to her with her password. I know I just sent it to her, but you guys get the point. Is there anything you'd like to add in this section, Fred, while I look this up real quick?
I was just letting you do your thing. On this one, I have two posts that I think would be very effective,
Okay.
and so I was just gonna.
Yeah, no problem. Hold on, let me see if I've got it right now. Now that I've pulled it off of an email. There we go. So this is not even a completed Google profile, which I did complete, but it still wants photos and all of that. All right, so I want to go to YouTube. That's one of the platforms I want to use, right? As simple as that. Okay, thank you. So let's go through all the places I can put this content and redirect it. So first is YouTube. There's Lori's picture, so it's a completed page. I'm going to go to my channel. For those of you who don't know how to upload video, you create. So what would be the video that I create? It would be very simple. You can do it two ways. You can shoot it face to face into a camera. You can shoot it with your cell phone. In fact, I just got a brand new setup for my iPhone because it shoots in 4K with a lavalier, no less. Like lavaliers for an iPhone are like $29 or something ridiculous. With two mics, I might add, which means I can do interviews. Or even a more simple way, I'm just going to do these quickly. I'll do these after we go off. So it's all fair for everybody to compete at the same speed. You can create a new project. This is HD Movie Maker on Microsoft. I don't use really high end. I don't use any of those crazy videos things. I can add that photo, right? And that's going to be the image I use. I can edit the soundtrack and just do a voiceover and make that my video. And all my video would simply be to the regards of, are you someone who's missed a payment in the Las Vegas area? Do you have questions about the equity in your home? Do you wonder where the market's going? Let me give you a free home evaluation. My information's in the description, or click the link. That's it. Don't get crazy. Keep it to around 3 minutes. Don't overcomplicate it. Keep it as simple as possible. All right. Second place. And by the way, in the description, when you load a video, you want to put your signature card, right? So we'd have a signature card already pre-done. The big deal here is just above, say, Fred Solomon, always do complete story. And then the link. Where are you? I lost my link. And where all my passwords set to the correct password, but I digress. Let me go back to the post, grab the link, right? And then I'm going to go back over. That's where my complete story is going to be. As simple as that, right? So now I can copy, cut, and paste this right into the description. Same way I would do with my boxing show, same way I'll do with Lori's. I will make a complete version of this with all of the links to her different pages, right? Okay. Now for Facebook, you can go a bunch of directions with Facebook with the same content. So I'm going to open up the Las Vegas Realtor page. So I can do this two ways. I can either do full written content or I can do something simple, right? Yes. Just a payment. Here's a fun tip. Type in Las Vegas and use the city that they give you. That'll help increase your bandwidth. Okay. Check out the current numbers. Click here. I don't even think I have to go any further than just putting the image up. I don't think I'd get that crazy. My opinion. So there they are. Now that JPEG is posted, click here. And again, below that, I would make sure to click and include my signature line, right? With all my links and all my hashtags, which I'm going to do. I'm just showing you for the sake of doing it. Make sure to include your check-in in the city that you're in. Make sure it's set for public. This is a big mistake. Friends don't matter. Public matters. And this is what I would do. Now, this is already tied to Instagram, so this will shoot over to Instagram, or you can do it from Instagram, shoot it back over to Facebook. Either way is completely okay with me. If we're just going, I'm going with just image here, right? So now I've done a YouTube video that's chasing people back to this website. I've got Facebook, I've got Instagram. We all know what's going to happen from here. And I'm even going to just use it as simple as it is right now. Just so I can show you. Now, this is now on her page. She has no followers on this page, right? I'm going to switch back to my profile very quickly. And then I'm going to bring up and should get me there, right? There she is. There's her page. There's the post. You guys have seen me show this a million times. Before I boosted, and I'm not opposed to paying $5 or $10 to boost this post. For the sake of this discussion, I'm not going to do that with any of the content we're talking about, okay? I'm going to share to a group. We've gone through this a million times. All you have to do, again, open up Facebook, go into groups. Thank you. And I'm going to search groups for keyword Las Vegas. And I'm going to see all. And it says visit. That means I'm already a member, right? But what I'm looking for, I like to have close to 1 million people, if that makes sense. Here's one I haven't joined. Now, they may ask you a series of questions. They didn't. That's pretty mind-blowing. Yeah, they did. Sure. I agree to the terms. Check. I cannot stress this. Check. If they say no real estate postings, you don't want to be there. That is almost ridiculous how often that actually appears in some of these groups. I've seen it where I've seen illegal things advertised on some of these buy-sell groups, but they won't allow realtors to post within the group, which to me is more of a comment about what's actually happening, about how people perceive realtors. But you want to go through. Small business is good. It's about 12,000 people. I'm already a member. Vacation, Las Vegas for sale and trade. You want to join those. The goal is to get to, and I'll say it again, as close to 1 million members on these groups as possible. It's just that simple. So total it up. When you think you get right around that figure, this is no different than even when I'm doing boxing comment. There, it's about 1 million people, right? So go through this, join your local groups, whatever your keywords are. If you're going after Las Vegas Realtor, join Las Vegas groups. If you're doing Palm Springs like Fred, join Palm Springs groups. If you're doing, the Valley, pick a city. Remember what people are searching for. If you can't figure out what they're searching for, run a Google pattern and see what they're searching for in that particular area, or hire someone on Fiverr to find the keywords for you. I'm not going to waste my time. And again, they tell you how many posts these things get per day. I want something with traffic, right? As long as it's about 10 plus a day, a community yard sale group with 3,000 people, I'll join it. It's going to ask me a question. No, it's not. It let me join straight up. How nice. Las Vegas Craigslist. That's a good one. Only 3 posts a day. Eesh. That one's going to be pending. Okay. So now that's all done. Okay. Go through it. Get yourself there we go. I knew it was going to ask me a question. Do you live in Las Vegas? Yes. And you will have to go through this. This is a real thing to joining groups. I agree to the rules. Check it. Courteous spam, no affiliate marketing, no car dealerships or real estate. You think I'm joking that you guys are associated? This is a Craigslist type sharing group and they won't let car dealerships or real estate in, Fred. That's ridiculous. Boy, that says a lot, doesn't it?
They will avoid so many Facebook posts because realtors are getting smarter on their marketing, and the car dealerships, they're good with their marketing too. So they realize social media is the place to go. So you got to join the groups that will let you post in there. Yep.
I agree. All right. Just make sure to get your numbers up as high as you can. This list will go on forever. There is no rhyme or reason to this search algorithm. It's just going to be things with the words Las Vegas. You'll have to spend an hour or two getting the right group together for you. I recently had to do it for my boxing content. All right. So now that that's all done, all I have to do is type in the words Las Vegas. Now I've got all these groups that I'm affiliated with, right? So I can go in here and all I have to do, I'm going to reuse the same thing, right? Where's the original post? But I'm going to share it. And in here, okay, this is where I would make the twist. Okay. And this is how I would do it for the website. My goal is to make sure I'm going to use my full, right, link, just like this. And I'm not going to post it. I'm just going to show it to you. I'm going to do everything later on so everybody has a chance to compete with this. And then I'm going to paste that above what this is. And it gives you the ability to have a title. Check out the latest numbers. And then make sure to, once again, check in that you're in Las Vegas. That's important. And then hit post and do that for each group. We've talked about this a million times. Once you've done all that, if you want to go back and boost it for $5 or $10, right, to be targeted to Las Vegas within a specific demographic. And by the way, target very hard if you're going to pay for it. They give you the ability to do it. So go ahead and target as hard as you want. It's really simple. We've done videos on that as well. All right, we're good. I've done Facebook. I've done Instagram. I made my YouTube video. I'm chasing them all back to the website. I'm not going to make any of these things official until later today. All right. Those are really the basics. If you have a Twitter account and you set one up for yourself, do it. And again, you're also creating an authority backlink. This link from Facebook to Las Vegas Realtor, when I click on it, right, I am now creating backlinks from one spot to another, which is boosting up the keywords that are on this website and on that page, which is Las Vegas Realtor. These things have to go into the mix. This is where I want them. I want them on this page. And my goal is for them to see this information right here. And that is the very simplistic thing that all of you can do on a daily basis with something as simple as a loan insight report. I didn't do anything. I didn't create any content here. I'm not even making people draw a conclusion. I am just making it as simple as I can.
I have a suggestion.
Yeah. Let them make their own minds up. But if it causes them to go, hey, that's a big deal. Let's rewind the clock to the Zillow content, right? You can do the same thing. You can make a Zillow graph for the values. I'll probably do that tomorrow and use that one for Lori's. I'll tell you what my posts are going to be. Today will be the loan insight report. Tomorrow will be declining values. Probably on Friday. I know Lori's making some original video content for those of you that shoot videos with me. I would use those videos as well. Saturday, I'll see what's trending. I do the same routine when it comes to content. I look for trending content, and I'm not opposed to looking at Facebook. I'll look at Fred. If Fred's getting a hot reaction off of something he's doing, why wouldn't I go for the same story? Sharing, it's Hallmark. When you care to steal from the very best, steal.
Go to November 10th on my timeline right now.
Cool. And I'll let you take over from right now, Fred. Where are we? 4 days ago. What would November 10th be? We're
13 days ago.
13 days ago. There we go. Thank you. Good math. I'm a banker. I don't know math. There you go. November 13th. You're
November 10th.
Partying like a rock star.
November 10th.
Okay. Sorry. Is that a Weimaraner? All right. We're at the 10th.
All right. So I had two really good posts. I don't want to talk about this one, but that one is a really good post. What I did in that one was I talked about what was going on in my area, and there's some really good data there, but sellers really don't care too much about the data, or the buyers don't really care about the data as much as what they're going to care about on the post right below the one that you are looking at right there. So scroll down to the very next post.
Okay. With the video.
Yes. Okay. Now expand that one. This is a post that I think everybody should copy. All right. And you have my authorization to do that, because this is something that people can actually agree with, and it works. I've done this many times, by the way. Okay. So let's just talk about it. How to get your offer accepted 10 to 15% below the current market conditions or current market value. Number one. And I think what made this one better than the one that I just did the other day is that I kind of made it cleaner with the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I just made it like an 8-step process on exactly how to do it. But the one thing that I would like to add to this post that is not in this post, but I'm going to tell everybody that right after Thanksgiving and right before the Super Bowl is the slowest time of year for real estate. And I just wrote this one yesterday, I think. And I said, when should you write an offer? When everybody else is writing offers, or when nobody is writing offers? So I said, let's take Christmas Day for an example. How many people are looking at homes on Christmas Day? Or how many people are at home opening presents on Christmas Day? I use a very simple analogy like that to get people to see my point. The point is, it's the slowest time of year for real estate. interest rates have dropped 1% in the last 30 days. And if you can get an offer accepted 10 to 15% below the market price, well, then guess what? That's not a bad time to buy, because when the rates come down if we do have a recession, which is 100% guaranteed according to Goldman Sachs, then you can refinance to the lower rates. And I'm going to show you one more post that I did.
Yep.
But this one gives you step-by-step directions on how to do it.
What's the
And
date,
I've
Fred?
done it. And then I put a little marketing video about interest rates in there. And it was 37 seconds long.
This one?
So a long post with a little video along with it is going to be your ticket to get people to respond. And when people say great info or whatever they say on my posts, great. But this one, I think, is the best post to use right now. 8 steps on how to get a below market offer accepted. Because in this market, we want buyers. They're more valuable than listings, right? And number 2, if you're going to go after listings, you got to do what Lee's saying. Property values are coming down. And here's the reason why property values are coming down. And do a post, sell your house before they come down any further, right? So that's how you get the sellers to react. And this is how you get the buyers to react. Now, there's one more thing I'd like to show everybody, and that's the one that I did yesterday. So if you could go up to the top of the page.
Sure.
Or to yesterday's date. And let's see. By the way.
The best time to buy real estate?
Yeah. Okay. So I need to clean up this post a little bit to make it more easy on the eyes. But here was, I talked about the best time of year to buy real estate. Now it's turned into a buyer's market. Don't be afraid to write below market offers. I have a proven method that has worked countless times, which is the one that I just showed you. Rates are 1% lower than they were 3 or 4 weeks ago. And then I put in a conversation with a client 2 minutes ago. And that's what prompted me to write that post. And it was, prices are predicted to drop 10 to 20%. I say write that below market offer now, especially in Las Vegas. Why not, especially if they might accept a below market offer? You don't know until you write the offer. Wait 3 or 4 weeks and then follow up with the offer. And do it on 3 or 4 different houses that the client's interested in. Once the prices come down, it won't be as easy to buy a home, and it will turn into a multiple offer situation because inventory is still half of what it was before the pandemic in many areas. Plus, if we enter a recession, which is 100% predicted by the end of 2023, rates will come down and you can refi to the lower rate for 100% zero cost. Let's have a conversation about it. Okay. So I don't know why more people didn't. Maybe I just need to clean up that and make it a little neater, but I don't know why more people didn't respond to that one. I think that's a very, very good post. I really do. And
it's almost impossible to dictate what'll work and what won't. I want to make that
Right.
clear to everybody. Everybody gets hung up on this one particular item, which is, oh, I only had 10 people look at it. It's 10 more than weren't. Everybody wants to be viral. I'm surprised, everybody wants to be, to quote one of my favorite bands, everybody wants to be naked and famous. Well, okay, that's cool. And one of the reasons I wasn't putting a lot of effort into my boxing show was I didn't want to be famous for that, if that makes sense. But that limited the product I was putting out and the other people who worked on the show when I could be selling t-shirts. I didn't look at it monetarily. I looked at it for a selfish principle. Again, if you're going to put yourself out there and you're going to do this, be prepared for it because you don't know what's going to go viral. And I know this firsthand. Some of my videos have millions and millions of views, and I'm known for things that, they're not all wine and rose type things that I'm known for. And certainly some of the trainings I've done have been a little over the top. But if you're going to put the content out there, I don't care if it's video. I don't care if it's written. I don't care if it's visual. Be prepared. You could go viral and you will be known for the content you put out. That is a thing. And I can tell you historically, I can never dictate what's going to run and what isn't. I mean, I try really hard to stay on the trend. That's really what the red videos are about, right? I'm patiently waiting for, Zillow. Amazon to lay people off. I have lots of videos with people who've talked about Amazon and the layoffs. It hasn't quite happened yet because it got such a backlash in the media that I don't know when they're actually going to make that happen. If I put it out too soon, it's not trending with the current media topics. So if you're going to do these things and they're based on media trends or topics, right now is perfect. It's a blank freaking canvas. They're not talking about anything real estate. They're not talking anything economy. Anything you put out right now, and if you put it out there in the right forums with people who are looking for these messages, you're going to get people looking at, and here's ultimately what I want them to see. I want them to see Fred's name and Fred's email so that he can be contacted. As simple as that. The only difference that I would probably add right after the word Facebook, I would do the @FredSolomonBroker, which would highlight the name Fred, right? So that they just could click on it and go directly up to the top of the page, because you don't know where this is going to show up. This could show up in a news feed, depending on who looks at it. So you got to give everybody the opportunity. Don't expect them, they're going to scroll back to the top and click on Fred and then go find Fred's message. They might, but people are also extremely lazy. And when they get this far into reading something, right, give them a chance for quick clicks. Quick clicks are where it's at. Because when they get to the bottom of it, hey, want to find out more? Click here. Boom. Those are the only change. I like Fred's stuff. I'm definitely going to use your 8 items this upcoming weekend for sure. That's a thing. Why reinvent the wheel?
And I've used it so many times on this, Lee, and it has been a really good. People just appreciate it, and no one can disagree with that. Like, try to argue the sky is blue. The only one who can argue with you is someone who's colorblind, right? So not everybody sees everything the same way, and I get that. But those are proven techniques that I have actually used. And I was trying to get some video testimonials from some of my clients where I actually used those things. And I was going to do another Facebook post with the video testimonial saying, yeah, this is exactly what Fred did with me. And it worked, and it saved me $89,000 or whatever it was. But that's the only other thing that I wanted to add to that post was some of my clients that I've done it with. So I could, just say, I'm not making this stuff up. I've actually done it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But those things are really good. And I really like the one that I did yesterday. The best time of year to buy is right after Thanksgiving and right before the Super Bowl. And then now that it's turned into a buyer's market, don't be afraid to write a below market offer. Oh, by the way, here's how to do that. And rates are 1% lower than they were a few weeks ago. And here's a conversation I just had yesterday with a client. Here's how it went, blah, blah, blah. And so I just kind of put it all together like live in vivo, right? And this now the client yesterday who was kind of just on the fence, now they're like, you know what? You're right, Fred. I am going to go look at some houses and I am going to write a below market offer. And part of the reason was because the rates had come down a full point. And I said on a $500,000 loan, that's $5,000 a year, but it's going to drop the payment $400 a month. So you can buy that same house, get a little lower price on it, and then the payment's going to be $400 a month cheaper. And then if we are really crazy, maybe we'll just ask for a 5% buy down, 5% discount. And then we'll ask for the seller to pay for a 1 or 2% buy down on the loan for the life of the loan and get a $20,000 credit. So there's a number of different ways that once we get them to agree to a below market offer, there's a number of different ways that we can then play with it, the listing agent, and say, you know what, Mr. Listing Agent, I'm sorry to do this to you, but we would rather have a credit and buy down the rate. It's the same net to the seller, so the seller wouldn't care. It's the same net amount of money in their pocket. It's just having to explain it to the listing agent and getting them to say yes after, but those are all good problems once they accept the offer.
I agree.
Those are all things that you can work out, but don't be afraid to try it, especially in this market. The only market that would be extremely tough to get people to agree to that would be in Orange County, California. But besides that, anywhere else, I think what those 8 steps would work wonderfully.
I agree. And the goal again, traffic, getting people to call, cuts down on AI. If anyone's interested in me doing this for them, I know that I have a couple of people that want me to do this for them. They will, and I'll show you their results because I'll be building their stuff. What's Lee doing for Thanksgiving? Building websites and doing this. I'll be doing this. Because there are a couple of people who signed up and wanted to do it. If you are interested in doing this, raise your hand and then Lori can talk to you about the possibility of me setting this up for you. Tina Herman. Okay. Lori will get a hold of you.
I am interested in that Palm Springs realtor thing and doing that, by the way, me personally. And I think, remember.
Well, and once you're, and here's the thing for you, great, Rick. I'm sure Lori's still here and taking notes and she'll get a hold of both of you. For you, I would just set up the platforms and go post here. Just do whatever you're doing and post on all these things and chase them to this one spot. The only thing that I would add for everyone who's setting this up, and you're basically, again, this is funneling. This is fishing in volume. This is really mass marketing. The other thing that Fred is leaving out, if I see that I have a functional post where it's getting action like this is the one I want to boost, right? Like if I'm only going to boost one thing per week and make it run, or the 8 things, whatever is getting good traffic, boost that one. Okay. Spend the $10 or the $20 for boosting it during the week. Same thing on YouTube. Watch for the one that's actually getting action. And then you can go to Sprizzy, which I've used and I've talked about it before. Sprizzy is basically the simplified version of boosting videos, right? Boost the video that's working. Don't boost the one that isn't working. This is a huge mistake people do when it comes to advertising or paying for advertising. And some of you will. Don't advertise the one that's not getting action. If it's not getting natural action from the algorithm and you placed it in groups and you put it all over the web and you've got it all running all over the place, that's not the one I'm interested in. I'm interested in the one that got action. I'll give you a perfect example of that. Let me go over
That's
to
very
YouTube.
important. Yeah.
That is, yeah. Let's do YouTube because we were talking about this yesterday. I was showing boxing content that I had put up. If I were going to boost a Fight Net Radio video, right? And this is the only one. I posted a bunch of them yesterday and I put this out there in the same sort of format that I'm telling you. I used Facebook, I used Instagram, I used my Twitter, and I put it all out there. And so I'll go to my channel, I'll look at my videos. I'm not going to do that one. I'm not going to do that one. I'm going to do this one that got 103 views. There were test conditions, right? I left a couple in here that were tests, right? Where I let the natural algorithms, but these 2 definitely got the same kind of treatment as did these 3 right here got the same treatment. The Crawford one, which I thought was a big enough story, I just let it float out there in space. This is 3 people naturally just straight off of YouTube, right? I'm not pushing anything, but these 3 got the exact same format that you saw. So let's just take it as a piece of content. Don't get caught up in what the content is. It got shared to boxing groups, it was on a boxing page. It's got a boxing website. It's no different than Las Vegas Realtor. This is the one I'm going to boost. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to go, hey, more people are interested in this Gervonta Davis, Ryan Garcia deal not being a signed deal, right? So to promote the product, which is more people on that site, buying t-shirts, listening to product, or buying affiliates, or getting Google ads traffic, because that's the end game here. It's not a phone call. It's to buy physical product. I would boost this one without even batting an eye. I would then go back to my Facebook page. And if I'm going to pay to boost any one of those, and remember, we just did this all yesterday. So this is all real time. There's Fight Net Radio. Yes, I used one of my home advocates' pictures for Fight Net Radio. I thought it was a good photo. Makes me look I'm trying to be more respectable in the boxing world. I think the tie helps. That's just an image thing. But it's on here as a YouTube video. It is. And it got shared exactly the same. So I'll just scroll down to where it is. Come on. Why are all the websites slow today? There's something weird with the internet. Yeah, right here. Okay. There's the tag format, just like I told all of you to use, completely the same. There's that YouTube video. This would be the one I'd boost on Facebook. No question about it. So when I boost stuff for Lori or Marvin or Rick or Tina or anyone, I'm going to boost the one that's getting the most traffic out of the 3 or 4 pieces of content. And I'm going to make this clear for everybody so I don't cheat the numbers for this little contest we're having. I'm not going to boost until Monday on anything. I'm going to run content today, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I think Sunday will be my boost day, right? So I will boost for 2 days, Sunday and Monday, right? So that's a 5-day arc. And the question is, my goal would be, can I get 1,000 people plus or minus? That's kind of the bar I set for myself when it comes to stuff like this. Can I get 1,000 people onto our website? Can I get another 1,000 people listening to Fight Net Radio? Can I get 1,000 people that when they think Las Vegas Realtor, they think Lori Neville? That's my goal. Somebody types in San Diego Realtor. Can I get Marvin? Can I get 1,000? I always want to set a bar of about 1,000 out of a week. I know that sounds like a crazy number. Really isn't. If you got a piece of content like this that you see on the screen that's already done 100 views, and I can go back and check the website to see how it's doing, or if Instagram's picked up followers, all of these things have cascading effects. And what you're doing is building the brand. The brand I'm building here is Fight Net Radio. The brand I'm building for Lori is Las Vegas Realtor. The brand I'm building for Marvin is San Diego Realtor, right? The brand I'm building for Tina would be Orlando Realtor. That's the brand I'm building. So when people think it, they're going to associate it. That's the big deal about having pictures. I want them to see my face. I want them to see who's in the show. It does not matter. I don't know why this format isn't followed more often than it actually is. It isn't. People just, I know this from friends that are on there. I just know this for a fact. I was screen sharing at that moment. I wasn't. I apologize. I cannot stress this. I have friends that are paying for very high-end videos to go up, and they're literally just sharing it with friends on Facebook. That doesn't do crap. Your friends aren't your next clients. Sorry to say it. Sorry to say it. Friends of Fight Net Radio are not my next group. It's people who haven't listened to the product. Las Vegas Realtor is a blank canvas, but should I think Lori can post it to her timeline? Yeah, sure. It's fine, but those aren't my clients. My clients are the people that are out there searching for those questions. And keep that in mind. When you're sharing on social media, don't get caught up. It kills me, Fred. People who don't make their post public. You're just sharing it with your friends. Like those little tiny details. You paid some service to make these high-end videos of you walking around a listing and you're sharing it with just your friends. Woof, you're killing me. Oh, but I get so much feedback. Feedbacks don't pay your mortgage. Being honest, it's a really crappy sentence, okay? Make sure it's public. You're boosting it to a public, not friends of, I don't even want friends of friends. I don't even like that particular boost, which is the thing. Now, if I was doing, retention with clients and their followers on a page or a group that I've created, then yeah, I want friends and friends of friends. That's when you want to do it. If you control the group or you control the page and you have followers, they're your fans now. Give them client retention. Absolutely. But at the end of the day, I need more people. People get bored on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. So you got to be creating large amounts of content these days. Once a day, minimum, if you're in real estate, in my opinion, if you're really trying to obtain traffic and get people involved. If you are interested and you're watching this on one of the videos, send me a DM and we'll find out about getting you into Home Advocates. Again, you can Google it, you can call us, you can email us. Those are all, click like, subscribe, of course. This is available on multiple platforms. For those of you in the room, keep your hands up if you want Lori to give you a call and talk about me doing this for you. I'm going to stay and do a few more questions. I know this is running longer than anticipated, but it's a great topic. And I just want to turn all this off and have some private time with the people who gave me their time.